A very crucial issue which has been grabbing headlines recently across Assam and Guwahati specifically is the disappearance of several minor girls from their homes. Though some of these girls have been rescued, others are yet to reach their homes. What is the reason for the increasing trend of girls missing each day from their homes? What steps has child rights organizations taken to stop the problem? To shed more light on this, I have with me a prominent child rights activist, Miguel Das Queah.
The problem, like you asked, is that the attachment, which we call emotional attachment, is generally seen to have decreased in family settings. You know, children have lost emotional attachment with their parents. Now, this is of course linked to new style of parenting techniques, which probably isolates children from their parents, especially when they turn into adolescents, especially at a time where, you know, they are battling their own emotional issues, they are biologically changing, they are sexually attracted to the other sex or the same sex, which parents fail to understand and recognize. And children hardly have the freedom to talk about their own sexuality, to talk about their emotions with their parents. So there is a distance which is further enhanced. And so what most children do is that they look for validation, they look for emotional support outside of their homes. And since nowadays with technology, especially after COVID, where a lot of children have gotten themselves online for the purpose of, you know, online classes and other things, they all have mobile phones in their hands. They have gotten into social media, and where they form these emotional bonds with people who they never have seen or known. And it is disturbing that many of these people who are registered online are child sex offenders. You know, they are traffickers. So this is the vulnerability which children don't understand.
Sir, yes, sir, as you said that the children are getting detached from their families. So is there any way to prevent that or to curb that, their mental state of mind?
See, I think parents need to reflect on their parenting techniques.
Okay.
And probably the state or expert agencies can help parents recognize that. It is very important because what we see is that there is a power gap between parents and their children. And rather than playing a role of someone who always controls or someone who's always giving commands, they have to start having conversations with their children. They have to be friends with their children, so that children can identify parents as being their safety figures, you know, and go-to figures or people who they trust a lot.
If you could shed some light on how human rights organizations and the police collaborate in rescuing the missing children.
See, as a child rights organization, I can speak on behalf of what the child rights sector is doing currently. So there are various organizations working in various capacities or various programs with the law enforcement. In Assam, if you look, we have a very strong partnership with the Assam Police called the Assam Police Shishu Mitra program. It is a flagship program through which what we do jointly with Assam Police and with UNICEF is to figure out how we can secure the rights of children at the ground level. For example, the law has a framework through which police responds to children or cases of crimes against children. We ensure that the provisions of the law are implemented on ground. And when children go up to police or parents of children go up to police with regards to, you know, cases of crimes against children, then the police response should be immediate, it should be positive, it should be sensitive, and that you know, if a child goes missing or the child is kidnapped or abducted, the police can respond on time so that such children are rescued. And civil society agencies, we are a technical child rights organization. We help police to understand the various laws, the various provisions.
And so talking about the victims who have been rescued, like they go through a very bad mental situation. What are the steps taken like to bring them out of the situation and take care like of their future, to secure their future? What are the steps taken?
See, we have a very elaborate social welfare arrangement, or rather we call it the child protection arrangement, under which the state has various mechanisms in place. So when, for example, a child is a victim of crime, and when such a child is rescued, following that, the child has access to various rehabilitative services. We have organizations like, these are state organizations, like the Child Welfare Committee, who is competent authority to deal with all cases related to the rehabilitation of children who are victims of violence or crime. So there are counselors, there are social workers who assist the child to access services which can aid in rehabilitation of the child. There are, if children who are, for example, bereft of families, or children who are orphans, such children have access to an elaborate institutional care arrangement. We have open shelters for short-term stay. We have childcare institutions for long-term rehabilitation of children who are without parental care. So there is an arrangement. There is also a District Child Protection Office, which is called the DCPU, the District Child Protection Unit, that has the mandate of providing all forms of services to basically children who are vulnerable or victims of crime. So you know, the DCPU can also arrange for various services for children, like counseling, like rehabilitation from drug abuse, specialized care for children with mental or physical disabilities, health care, educational support. So there is a or compensation support through which the child can have some money at hand, which is necessary for immediate rehabilitation. So the state has an elaborate mechanism. Even in Assam, I think we have one of the best child protection systems. It's just that communities need to be aware of these so that they can avail for these services. For children, one, I believe that when you are below 18, you can be online. But at the same time, I think social media is something you should be very careful of using. You should know that there are not many nice people there, and since you're a child and it's very easy to take advantage of you, you should be careful who you are, whose friend requests you are accepting, who you are allowing to come into your life through social media or through your phones. What are you sharing online? Are you sharing too much private information? You should be careful about where are you, who are you with. You should be aware of safe and unsafe touches. You should be aware of not sharing any private pictures, even with your best friend, through online mediums, because these go online and they are always unsafe and can be misused later on. So children should be aware of that. Links, unknown links that come to your phone. Children should be aware of not clicking them. If they find anything which is offensive or which amounts to bullying or which amounts to abuse, they should immediately report it to their parents, and parents should again take the step of counseling and providing help to such children. So these are the various mechanisms in which children can help themselves to be protected from violence online, and also in the real world, offline, which happens quite often.